What's going on, guys? Welcome to a random video on this channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about this Google event and of course this Pixel phone that everyone's talking about. Now the phone starts at $649 for the 5-inch display. 5.5-inch display is going to be $769 with that extra $120 included. And then if you want a 128 gigabyte version of the phone, because the standard version is 32 gigabytes, that's going to cost you additional $100. The problem that I see with this phone though, from everything that I'm hearing about it, and I was watching the event on YouTube, I actually posted a link to the video on Twitter and even Facebook and even Google+. But the problem here I see with this phone is that it's a Verizon exclusive, and I would not suggest anyone go to Verizon to get the phone. You might as well just go to the Google Play Store and get the phone unlocked if you want to purchase the Pixel phone. So then the question is, should you purchase the phone? Well, I think it's a nice looking phone, but they also increased the price of the phone. You have to compare it to what you've gotten before from a Nexus phone. This situation is a bit perplexing because you see what Google is doing. Obviously they want more people to use Android, but this is not the way to get more people to use Android by having a Verizon exclusive. Verizon, out of all companies, and we all know what Verizon is doing out there with their data plans. This obviously has something to do with Google wanting to have an exclusive phone. They increased the price of it, and obviously they're trying to compete with Apple and the iPhone. But this is not the way to get people to actually want to buy the phone. And not only that, if you watch the event yourself, you notice the intro to the event was completely boring. They were talking about the Google Assistant. They would not stop talking about the Assistant that's going to be included with your phone. You know, it's an interesting feature, but that's not more important than the phone itself. Everyone is interested in the hardware of the phone. They start talking about how great the camera is. Okay, so you have a great camera and also has video stabilization. That's impressive. You say you have the phone with the best camera in the industry? Why do you have it as a Verizon exclusive? And by the way, the phone's being manufactured in black, silver, and blue, but apparently blue is an exclusive as well. They said limited quantities for blue, for whatever reason. But then when I look at some of the features of this phone, I do find Google's Daydream feature to be interesting because the direction they're going in with virtual reality. They're even going to have a headset that's going to be made out of microfiber, and that's going to be available in November for $79. So I do think that's a reasonable price. But then they went on to go talking about this Google Wi-Fi, where you actually have a device that allows you to get better Wi-Fi. That's going to be sold at $129. And they were talking about other products for the home, including a new Chromecast, $69, and Google Home itself, $129. And it does kind of remind me of what Amazon has been working on, where you have a device in the home that actually assists you. This is a situation with the Google Home. What Google Home allows you to do is actually utilize that assistant feature and also ask the device questions, all that kind of stuff. It's an interesting kind of thing, but we have to go back to what everybody's talking about, and that is the Google Pixel. Everyone wants to know more about the Pixel phone because everyone has been waiting for this phone. So for you guys to work on these home products and start talking about other devices, and then when you talk about the Pixel, you're really focusing on that Google Assistant. But the issue here is selling an exclusive phone with Verizon, and not only that, increasing the price of the phone and trying to compete with the iPhone, but in such a way where you're not going to get more people to use Android by doing this. So unless you think that people are going to switch carriers just to use Verizon or purchase it directly from your store, then you're not going to get more people to be interested in the phone. And that's what I'm trying to say here. So there is an issue here, and it's the way they're going about selling this phone. The phone looks fantastic. It looks like an impressive device. Would I purchase it? Right now, I'm not sure, because you sold it exclusively to Verizon, you increased the price of it, and I have to compare that phone to the Nexus 6. The hardware is better with the Pixel, obviously, but at the same time I have to ask, what exactly am I getting from you guys? If you keep talking about these software features, that's not going to convince me to buy a new phone from you. Sorry, but that's not how it works. You have to create a great phone with a great design. You cannot just throw a phone out there and say, well, it's a great phone because it has the best camera on the market. That is not good enough. That might sell phones in Silicon Valley. We're talking about a tech industry that includes a lot of people that want to have a great looking phone and the platform to be amazing. You cannot continuously talk about one feature in an event like this and then try to convince people to purchase the phone. It doesn't work that way, Google. You gotta do better than that. And the way I looked at it, and I was talking about this on Twitter, by the way, I was tweeting at Adobe Easy if you follow me on Twitter. You know that I was saying these things about the event. If you include something called Google Assistant, that's cool, but you really need to talk about the phone. If you look how Apple sells the iPhone, from their events to their commercials and even the mobile carriers that they work with, Didn't you guys learn anything from the iPhone situation with AT&T? Now, part of that was a network issue for AT&T where they couldn't handle all the customers. But another issue was that you had one mobile carrier selling their phone, and it didn't work for them. You could have looked at that situation, just learn from Apple, and not do that. But you guys chose Verizon, and I think it's a really big mistake. I do not think that's going to get more people to use the Pixel phone. And actually, I think what's going to happen is this is going to be another situation where you see more people looking at different manufacturers for the phone. And by the way, HTC manufactures the Pixel phone, but the Google branding is on it. So Google really wants to say it's a Google phone, which is okay. We talked about this before. This is something that Google should be doing because they won't compete with the iPhone. But you guys gotta be real about this. I did find one thing interesting about the Pixel phone, like charging your phone for 15 minutes and getting 7 hours of usage out of it. I thought that was a great feature. And then also talking about having a 24/7 customer service through the phone. Now with the Google Pixel, you can share your screen with Google's customer support, and you can always ask them questions or whatever for 24/7 hour support. So I thought that was cool. But if you're talking about features and what it's worth, $649 or paying $27 per month for the phone, I'm not sure if this phone is worth it, especially for people who just purchased Nexus phones. I really don't. Actually, if you have a previous version of the Nexus phone, I don't really think you need to upgrade to this phone. That's what I'm saying. They increased the price, and not only that, a Verizon exclusive, you need to let these guys know that this is not the way to sell a phone. I'm not saying the phone is not good. If you're interested in a new phone from Google, then just purchase it directly from them from the Google Play Store. But if you really want to know what I think about this, $649 or $27 per month and a Verizon exclusive? No, this is not cool. This is not the way to sell phones, and this is not the way to get more people to use Android or even a Pixel phone like this. You really need to convince people to switch platforms, especially when you guys include that in your own event. You start talking about how you have something installed on the phone where you can get people to switch from any other platform, I guess, and transfer all the information to the new phone. That's fantastic. But first, you need to convince people to switch platforms for the right reasons, including seeing a great phone that might not be with the platform that they currently use. So if they see the Pixel phone and it has Android and say they're using iOS, well, where can they purchase the phone? Oh, only Verizon? Well, what if someone's not a Verizon customer? And what if someone really does not like Verizon, which a lot of people out there do not like Verizon? So they're going to have to go directly to your store? Well, what if they're used to a situation where they're purchasing the phone from their carrier? See, this is something that Google needs to learn, because when they've seen the iPhone and even Apple and what they do, they're trying to do the same kind of things like I was talking about before. But if you're trying to do the same kind of things that Apple does, at least try to do the same kind of things that Apple does the right way. That's what I'm trying to say. Because Apple does a lot of things that work, because a lot of people out there purchase an iPhone. So you guys can learn from their success. Do not copy their mistakes. It makes absolutely no sense. So anyways, that's what I think about this Google Pixel. I'm saying if you're interested in a new Android phone, it looks like an amazing phone. But at the price and even the mobile carrier that they selected, I'm not sure about this phone. But I would like to know what you guys think about it. Post your comments down below. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.